Well, just quickly, so it's called The Faculty, and I thought you're more like, why the fuck are we talking about this movie?
Okay,
Marcus,
good.
Can you clarify why you picked this?
I'm big into the horror genre, always have been. The Faculty is a classic. I think it not only has such a huge cult following.
Well. Classic? And I said this at the start. Is it a classic?
It has the word cult in the title, Frank. I think Marcus's case is closed.
Greetings, pals!
Greetings, pals.
Greetings, pals.
Hey, welcome to the podcast Throw in the Power. My name is Frank.
My name is Marcus.
My name is Tom.
And this is the podcast Throw in the Power. Love it or hate it, we debate it. It being movies, and today we are discussing/debating the 1998 classic, The Faculty, directed by Robert Rodriguez, with the classic End Girl Elijah Wood and the brilliant bad boy Josh Hartnett.
Okay,
and of course,
Girl. I don't like End Girl.
He is.
End Girl is Final Girl, and End Girl was weird. And
is it Final Girl?
what was with the question mark? Classic? Why classic?
Excuse me, Marcus. Frank was doing the intro. Can you just give him a minute to get to
meant to have a clean intro.
Please.
Final Girl Elijah Wood, and anyway,
It doesn't mean he's allowed to antagonise. No.
This is why I said I need a clean 2-minute runway, so you can just let me talk.
You got everything you need from me, Frank.
And on this podcast, actually, Tom, I'm doing something for me right now. We rate films out of 11, which is our point of difference. It makes us wonderful and unique, little butterflies. Thomas.
Yeah, what's up?
Why do we do it out of 11?
I think it's the number of, I imagine, penalties or citations that Robert Patrick has received as coach of that football team, just based on his behaviour. I can't imagine he has not had complaints lobbied at him. The opening of the movie, football's flying through the sky, and Robert Patrick being like, I will fucking kill you all if you don't win! I will murder you and your families! So you're like, Jesus Christ!
Tom, it indicates to me that you've never played social sport before.
Social or competitive or
just any
fun.
In fact.
If you guys were experiencing
caught a ball, we might not have caught a ball ever.
Legitimately from your coaches, that is trauma. You guys are harboring a horrific incident in your past as children.
Well, okay, so so that's why we rate films out of 11 because you think we're traumatized as children.
Everything would be rated out of 11 if we were just basing it on that metric.
Okay, all right. I'll shout your name if you like this film.
Marcus!
Tom.
Frank! Actually, yeah, Frank. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, dear.
So we all liked it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I think one of us is unsure. I think two of us are pretty good.
Who? Who said that?
Who said that? I did. Ashley Padilla. Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great reference for nobody.
Yeah, I know, right?
Ashley Padilla, great work on SNL. Keep it up. We are proud of you. Okay.
Who wants to go first? Scores.
Well, just quickly, so it's called The Faculty, and I thought you're more like, why the fuck are we talking about this movie?
Okay,
Marcus,
good.
Can you clarify why you picked this?
I'm big into the horror genre, always have been. The Faculty is a classic. I think it not only has such a huge cult following.
Well. Classic? And I said this at the start. Is it a classic?
It has the word cult in the title, Frank. I think Marcus's case is closed.
It also has.
It's not called the Fawality, and it's also not called the Fuckery. I do like the Fuckery. I will say, I think that would be a great pitch for a movie. It's a bunch of Italian American guys being like, "Hey, are we in Fuckery? Is in Fuckery? Yeah, where the fuck are we?" And then they just make that joke over and over again. So I think that was a good one.
Are you happy with that? You glad you did that?
I liked your bit, and I think I did a good job springboarding it. From
You
there.
did
I think I actually made it what it was.
The bit was absolutely fine as it was. I would say, Marcus, this isn't a classic. It is a cult. It has cultural resonance.
Yeah, I think so.
Cultural resonance. But it's not a classic. I don't think this did well.
It's definitely a cult classic. I don't think there's a way around that, even though I don't think it endures as much as a lot of other 90s films. But I do think it has a following and an influence. I was aware of this movie without having watched it. It has a little bit of a legacy even with sort of more modern filmmakers now, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
I'm between you two though. I agree it's not a classic. I don't think it's a classic, but yeah, it's a cult film.
Okay, well, we'll just quickly look at the numbers. Budget of 15 million, approximately made 63. So
a judgment of how much a movie makes at the time, though, is not really a good reflection of whether it's endured beyond that time to become something where people are like, you know what, that movie didn't do well, but because Fight Club made dick all at the box office, and obviously that's like a cult classic, right?
We'll talk about that later, because we're talking about The Faculty. But I would
Fight
say,
Club, more like fuck club. Fuck are we doing in this club?
for the listener, it's kind of like, who's like, are you clicking on this movie because you know it, or are you clicking because you're curious as to what we're talking about, to learn about it? Perhaps I would argue that most people are like, they might have heard of it peripherally, but they don't really know it. Therefore, not a classic.
What do you think, Marcus?
But I think we're in the weeds.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad someone invited me back into the conversation. I was sitting here staring at my own screen for about 3 minutes.
You need an invite to come in the.
Just
wondering. Careful that garlic, pal.
Because I swear to God, at the start of this, someone asked me a question about what I thought of the film and why I chose it, and then all of a sudden, gone.
Hey, Marcus,
couldn't believe it.
It's because you said it's a classic, and I just don't agree.
Hey, Marcus, snort something from this fucking pen and tell us what you think of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
take a whiff of what is apparently just all caffeine powder, like not actually that.
Which is a diuretic, so
it's a diuretic. Anyway, Marcus, what do you think?
Yeah, it was fine.
Do we need?
We haven't given scores, Frank.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to
Talking
do.
of being off the rails.
Okay, give me some scores.
6.3.
Okay. Oh, wrong fucking button again. 6.3 is pretty good.
6.3
Marcus?
8.4.
Ooh.
Wow. 6.3, 8.4. I'm going to go 6.3, I think.
Frank.
There it is. Hey, what's up?
Remember, we only have one seat for each score, so you got to come scoot up on my lap here, buddy.
I think
You
I
got to
said
sit there on up.
I'm doing 6.2.
You're going to come here just on Uncle T's.
The movie's not that good. Immediately changed my mind.
You know what? Maybe I'll scooch over to 6.2 as well.
Well, I can't wait to convince you otherwise that it's worse or better than it was by the end of the film for the pod. All right. Well, do you want to do a quick synopsis of the film?
Go ahead.
Let's watch me read, everybody. When Casey Connor, Harrington High School's newspaper photographer, witnesses a murder of a nurse and sees her alive again, he decides to investigate the bizarre happenings.
Yeah.
It's at a very teen. I would say it flips the teen genre on its head, but also doesn't at all. It's strange. I did say at the start, I think Elijah Wood is the end girl, which isn't the phrase.
No, it's as Marcus pointed out. It's what is it, Marcus?
It's the final girl.
Okay, so I'm not a big horror guy, so sorry for not knowing that.
That's okay.
But Elijah
Luckily,
Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. No,
Luckily
I was going to say.
Luckily what?
No, I was going to say something totally unnecessary, and it was going to throw things off the track. And I think you were doing a good job. What were you saying about Elijah Wood?
I just think it's interesting that he is the final girl.
Yeah.
And I think the dynamic of him and Melissa Barbaro?
The girl who plays
Barbara
like
Harris.
the
Georgiana Brewster. Where was I? What did I just say?
Okay. Jordana
Melissa
Brewster's...
Barbero is the person you're trying to say, and I don't know why.
You're good?
Fine. Everything's fine. I think their dynamic is kind of like the flip of like she's like the jock person.
Sure.
I don't know. Then he's the little nerdy, for lack of a better word, damsel in distress.
I still would say for like having been asked, Marcus still hasn't had the opportunity to answer the question what he thinks of this movie. I just want to give it back to him one more time and see if we can get it.
Go on. I'm just going to sip my ginger beer.
I think I've forgotten at this point
what movie we're talking about.
I think I've.
We're talking about.
I'm questioning to myself right now. Why did I choose this movie?
Yeah,
because the chat has been so interesting. So
you're
far.
like, the fuck are we? Etc. I just think it's
an end girl.
I think it's a good.
All right,
I
won't use the C word for both of you, nor will I use the word C for describing the film.
Okay, I don't think it's a cult of a movie either. But do you think?
No.
What do you think it's like classic status?
No, well, it does have such a cult following. It does. What I mean by classic status is the film itself has basically modernized itself for a modern audience. It's gone for a teen genre, but it's basically paying homage to, very directly to, both The Thing and very obviously I've forgotten the name of the film.
Well, they
I've just really
reference
lost my track of
Body
thought.
Thing?
Snatchers? The Thing.
No, it mentions it in the movie.
Oh, body,
itself.
like Frank said, body snatchers.
Body Snatchers. Thank you.
Yes.
Which
and
I've
there's a
never
bunch
seen.
of films that sort of came around that time, and the film to me does bring it to modern audiences. It is at times very silly. It is at times very camp, and it is at times flipping the switch a little bit, as you have already said. So my least favorite part of the film, for example, is Jordana Brewster. I just don't enjoy her performance in this. I think it's so phoned in.
It's
very on
Delilah.
the nose.
What's it's?
I think it's Delilah.
Yeah, and so she's the
and
class. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, also as a reference for you, this is the film that inspired the game Obscure.
Yeah, I mean, I have some stuff I want to talk about with that. Maybe we could talk about that now if you want. There's a bit of like Buzz Pantry stuff surrounding.
You want to talk about an
Leave it for
obscure
that.
video game?
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds
It's
good.
called. Yeah,
That
it's
sounds
called.
good. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's called Mario Kart,
No.
and it's you get your friends together and you. Yoshi. There you go. Yoshi.
Awesome. Yeah, good.
Generally, I think the film is very enjoyable. I think that it doesn't shy away from what it's trying to achieve with it. Again, it feels like it's very much in service of a lot of classic horror films. Again, in a very modern way, and sorry to repeat myself, but my favourite thing about the very stacked cast, by the way,
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
is that the performances individually are actually not terrible for what is quite a stereotyped, a very cliched horror film.
I
you
think
get
just to jump in there, Rodriguez cast this film very well.
I agree.
A lot of
Gary.
people
It's
at the
an
start of their
awesome cast.
careers, it's a huge cast, and I didn't realize going in. Like I think you mentioned it, Marcus. Oh yeah, I was like Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett. That's kind of who you remember when I watched this 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, should we go through the cast just quickly, top line,
Absolutely.
for
Yeah,
a couple of
go.
them? Elijah Wood, obviously, as we said, Josh Hartnett, Salma Hayek, Christopher McDonald, who we know as Shooter McGavin, Usher is in this. Robert Patrick from the Terminator movies, Jon Stewart.
John Stewart.
John Stewart can act. Jordana
Can
Brewster,
he?
as we've said. Can he? Well,
I think. Yeah, sorry.
He's doing something.
John Stewart is, yes, he's a little jarring in this, but I think he's okay.
I
Sorry, I didn't mean to get stuck on John Stewart.
I enjoyed him quite a lot. It's just nice to see him. And I literally, I was like, that can't be Jon Stewart. Why would he be in a movie? He's
Yes.
a funny guy. And of course, Famke Jensen.
Yeah,
Yes.
Xenia Onatopp herself. Playing
Who-
the, like, absolute inverse of that character. A woman who,
I
like,
would say
in Goldeneye
arguably the-
would crush you with her thighs, would sex you to death, and in this she just like,
Yeah.
hey, you guys, you don't need to be with guys.
Oh,
and you're just like,
I
right.
forgot Tom had trauma here, Frank. I forgot.
Well,
this
yeah,
was
no,
trauma.
I felt like I
Famke.
was getting it back a little because I was like, imagine if I were Josh Hartnett and I could reclaim my agency by hooking up with a teacher who reminds me of Xenia.
And-
It's
and
kind of
sorry.
weird that that's where the film goes in the end.
It is
For
weird.
the
When she-
listener as well, Tom's trauma stems from his watch of Goldeneye and Xenia on a top.
With one of
Killing
the
a guy during sex.
basically
Pretty
with my main thing always being I have seen that movie as a child so many times in rooms with people, and I just remember looking around and being like, is no one gonna do anything about this? Like, this can't be allowed to happen. What are we doing? And it just was so weird to me that no one else was freaking
That's
out.
the scariest thing you've
me-
ever seen on film.
It was terrifying. I still think about it every week.
Okay, but we'll talk
Outside-
about
out-
her being the
Oh,
worst
sorry.
performance in this movie.
No, I think she's good. I think she's fine.
Well, is she?
I think that scene
outside
where
of your core performances,
Yeah.
outside of your core group, I think that the sub characters are very sub. I'm not seeing great performances from them, and even is it Femke?
Famke.
Famke, yeah.
You're welcome.
She, as you said, her inverse is to me very jarring. I don't like it. I think it's a poor performance. She's very comfortable in being the sultry, sexy, confident, strong woman
True.
that she is. It's such a shift.
it's a bit of dress up, I agree, where you're like, you know, oh, who could ever, what a nerdy teacher that no one would ever take seriously. And it's like, smoke show, absolute babe. And everyone's just kind of like, you suck. But the scene with her and Hartnett, to speak of video games, Marcus, I remember having this thought when she confronts him when she's obviously been turned by the parasite. That is such a video game scene. And I don't even mean in a video game of a more Western standard. I've been playing, as Marcus knows, like Persona 5 recently, and like JRPGs, just very quickly, Frank, are basically like anime Japanese role-playing games, right?
Yeah, JRPG.
And that's
I knew that.
Okay, and that's that is an anime or a JRPG sequence where the teacher's like, listen here, you little shit. I'm going to put my foot up your ass. And the crowd are like, oh, whoa, did you hear what she said? Wow, I can't believe she said that.
She said
wow.
ass. Oh my God,
and Josh Hartnett's like, like he just doesn't know what to do. And I'm like, this is such a video game scene. I kind of like it. I like the weird energy of it. And most of the movie, when I was charmed by it, had those aspects to it that I was like, this is very stylistic. It's silly. It's a bit much. It's very charming. Like I'm with it for the most part.
Yeah,
it's not great, but I liked it. You know.
What do we think? What about Clea Duvall, who plays Stokely?
Awesome. Love Claire Duvall. Love her.
She's great.
Claire?
I think she's fantastic.
Claire Duvall, who I know best from Veep, but she's also just shows up in a lot of movies every now and then. She's in Zodiac in one hot scene. She's incredible in that. She's a director in her own right. She's a really, really interesting person, and it's awesome. Oh, she's in But I'm a Cheerleader. With Natasha Leone.
She's
so
in
good at that.
Argo.
Oh, of course she's in Argo.
Handmaid's Tale for a bit.
Really? She's great. And I always love seeing her, and I love how this movie goes. She shows up, and I'm just like, that would be Claire Duvall playing a lesbian in high school. And everyone's like, you lesbian! And then she's like, but I'm not a lesbian. And I was like, you are, though, Claire Duvall. I'm sorry. You are a lesbian, I have to tell you.
We can't say it on film.
I just watched you kiss that guy. That's the gayest thing you've ever... You did not look comfortable with that. But
I would argue
really
the cast is fantastic. I did not like, and we'll obviously get an MVPs down the track, but Sean Hatosi is that Stan? That's the jock. Stan.
I've only seen him in one other thing. He's an alpha dog.
You didn't like Stan.
No,
I think Stan's okay.
I think he's my least favorite.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Marcus,
to me,
I'm guessing you like it, Marcus?
By all appearances, and from the get-go, I always had this feeling about him that he would be the one that would drive me insane, or the one that I would like the least. And for some reason, I get through it, and I'm super into his performance every single time. I don't hate it.
But why? Like, what
because
draws you to him?
He doesn't look like a typical jock, and I think that's the most jarring part of it, is that they've cast him as what is meant to be the
he looks bad.
Stereotypical. I don't know if he looks bad. He just doesn't. He just looks like the guy that would be the sidekick of the main jock. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he just looks like a sidekick guy.
He could play a dweeb very convincingly in a movie. Like, and I agree that that's interesting casting. And I do like his performance. I like his line to Elijah Wood in the locker room. Well, Elijah Wood's like, "It must be awful being you." He's like, "You have no idea." And I'm like, I kind of like that exchange, and I like how he does that.
It's very understated, and a lot of the one-to-one scenes throughout as well do have some pretty highlighted moments, I
There's
think.
some great exchanges in the movie. I don't really believe him and Claire Duvall at all, but I'm very Breakfast Club fucking coded, or pilled rather, in this obviously movie is playing on the Breakfast Club like, well, actually, the popular girl's going to get with the freak, and the goth's going to get with the football player.
But I would also sooner believe that relationship than I do by what is the end, where we have Jordana Brewster and Elijah Wood.
Absolutely no sense.
Zero sense.
I have to say,
if they had played into it a tiny bit, in the first act of the movie, like
they do a little. She's
but
like,
I think they allude to it, but it's not enough.
I think they allude to it the fact that he maybe likes her, right? Because he's a dweeb, and of course he does.
No, he's very romantic. Don't you remember when he sniffed her in the closet? He was like really normal about it. That is the weirdest scene where they're in the closet together, and he goes, and she looks at him like, "Oh, that's sweet," and it's like, "What? That's really creepy." He just smells you.
I don't think I caught that actually.
Yeah, he sniffs
really?
her. He huffs her. Yeah,
big huff from Elijah Wood.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie has her in it, and I don't disagree that I don't love her performance. I think she's the least convincing of the six of the kids, right? Mm-hmm. But the way it's shot and the way Elijah Wood plays it when she confronts him in the bus and she's coming towards him, I love that scene, and I think it's really well done. I love her playing on the "Aren't you tired? Don't you want to do this with me? I know you like me." And he's just like, "Please don't do it." Like, I'm really so scared right now.
I think great scene, but I think to your point, it's Elijah Wood.
It's him, and he's just so shaken, and he's so good at playing that vulnerability and that sort of petulant, but also really, really kind of out of his depth energy that he brings to it. Even later in the film, when the final bad boss, and I know we're jumping all over the place, but she says like, you know, I can fix it all, I can make you all better, you don't have to be a freak, and he's like, I'd rather be afraid, and I'm again just like, yeah, goddamn, dude. Fuck yeah. I like you. I like the cut of your jib, Elijah Wood. That's sick.
We did do a brief synopsis, but just to clarify for anyone who hasn't seen it, the town gets taken over by alien worms who drink a lot of water. So it's kind of like, if you've seen Sinners, it feels a lot like a precursor to Sinners.
Hey, Ryan Coogler loves this movie. He's spoken about it on the record.
I mean, the scene where they're like, hey, sniff the drugs, that's literally eat the garlic.
But it's also literally from The Thing, where Kurt Russell like tests their blood to see what will happen. So, and that scene felt a little perfunctory, and there were moments where I was liking beats of it, but I was like, I know you have to have this scene, and it's actually the more it's going on, the less I'm into it. Like that scene kind of lost a little bit.
The problem is
they
quite literally they go around one by one and do like a, well, it could be you because of this.
And you just know it's her because she shows up.
I didn't.
I didn't until that scene started, and I was like, okay, this is going on for a while. It's going to have to be one of them.
Yeah.
And then when they're like, I'm like, well, yeah, who's the one we haven't seen on screen for ages who showed up with a new look and has been very mysterious since like running away that night? But then the movie plays its hand a little too, like, it's a little too eager, or maybe it's a little too cocky, where it's like, we're going to call out what makes these people suspicious. And the second someone said, what about you, random blonde girl who showed up 2 days ago? And I'm like, oh, she's the main bad guy, isn't she? Of course she is. Like, that has to be what it is. Like, the movie just told me, and then it is.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't make sense unless it's her. So
I thought it was the coach.
But you saw what happened with the coach at the start.
I know, but I just didn't think about it. And I was like, well, it's the coach.
Okay.
Because I thought there's no way it's, and this might be a distant memory, but I was like, it's not one of the crew, right? Because they have to go to the gym and fight the thing.
Yes.
I don't know. But I just didn't, I thought it would be too easy for it to be the new blonde girl from out of town.
I will just do a quick aside here. So considering that this was made in 98, and then we get The Mummy back in, a year later in 99.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How did we feel about the use of CGI in this one?
I think it looks really bad.
Oh, I think it looks mid-range. I don't think it looks really
It has its
bad.
moments.
I think the practical effects are pretty sick. At the end, it's fairly practical. That big bug that's been squashed against the gym wall, that looks sick.
That's
the
amazing.
stuff in the pool I thought looked pretty bad. I wasn't
The pool's bad where you see the giant
it just comes up and it's
like,
yes.
the perspective is
it's
all
just
off,
like
and
they've
it's
taken a photo of one of the little worm guys from Men in Black and they've just kind of stretched him out and then they've just compensated. He's like, oh yeah, where the fuck are we?
Actually, that is a good point, actually, Tom, because it does have a face that's reminiscent of the bug at the end of Men in Black.
Right.
So
there's a lot of
I'm
stuff.
Wondering,
and you and I just
first.
watched Men in Black the other night, Marcus, which is around this time. I think it's 95, right?
You guys are hanging out watching movies without me.
We are. It was awesome.
That's
and
cool.
Sonnenfeld, there's a Sonnenfeld movie.
Okay, so that was a year before this. So
It was, I think 3 years before this. Wasn't it 95 or was it 97?
97.
Oh,
What
my
are you
bad. So
talking
yeah,
about,
it was
sorry?
literally, it's a year, but you're right, Men in Black was. And they reference it in this movie, which
yes.
lets you know how recent it is. That he's like,
Yeah.
you know, he says to Elijah Wood, I will Men in Black your head, or whatever he says, I will Men in Black your ass if you don't snort this. So
At the end of the day, this also is a bit of a playground for Rodriguez. This is early days for him still.
yeah, he's having fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a filmmaker who obviously has grown up, much like Tarantino. Don't yawn, Frank. Who loves film and will constantly pay homage to and constantly reference films that they've grown up and loved, and it's almost just a calling card as to why they do what they do. You know, so Rodriguez has used this as very much his horror playground to sort of test some stuff out and whatever. And I love it for that. Looking at it objectively for what this is, yeah, it's a bit of a shit show. It's a bit messy. It's very flawed. It's very imperfect. But I kind of love it more for it.
I can
you've got a
100%
point
understand that. The gangliness of it is quite appealing. Where you just kind of like, yeah, it's just a fucking bunch of, like, it's Robert Rodriguez when he was young making a horror movie in high school and he was in love with The Thing and John Carpenter. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I think it was a good time. Sorry, Frank, I
Well,
interrupted.
I wanted to agree to that point that Marcus had, but I think it's funny because he had done like El Mariachi, Desperado, From Dusk Till Dawn, all prior to this.
Yeah.
Then he does The Faculty in 98, and then does a couple of like music videos, and then he goes into Spy Kids 2001.
Wait. Sorry. From Dusk Till Dawn was before this.
The year before or 2 years before?
2 years before.
2 years before, yeah. And it's like, he's a pretty chameleonic dude. Like, he's a very interesting guy, remains so years later when you watch, like, Alita Battle Angel, a movie that you're like, well, that looks bad. And you watch it and you're like, hey, that was very good. I really enjoy that film, and I think it's a great genre exploration. And you remember that he's good at that. He's good at doing a spy movie that's PG. He's good at doing a Mexican sort of standoff mariachi film. He's good at doing a horror movie. He's good at doing a fucking comic book film. Sin City is truly one of the greatest films ever made, in my opinion.
And this is you look at his credits in his career, Planet Terror and Grindhouse, like these films that I don't really love, but the style and the confidence in what he's doing. And like you said, Tom, it's chameleonic. It's so different to Sin City. It's so different to Spy Kids. It's so different to
that's
to
kind
this.
of it, Frank. You did say style, and he is a very stylized director. And I think that you can find you almost know you're watching a Rodriguez when it happens now, which is great. But then he's constantly shifting and evolving and trying something new as well.
It's not like Tarantino where you go, yep. It's the same shit over and over again.
I have to agree. While thinking Tarantino is has more integrity as a filmmaker, or has more competence, or maybe even just
Prestige.
Prestige, but I feel like that's something that we grant to him rather than what he has.
Nolan.
You know what I? But definitely, he is the more prestigious guy. I do think he's a better filmmaker, but I agree that he's a little narrower. Like, really, Tarantino kind of just found what he could do well, and he refined that. And I think it's deeper than what Rodriguez does most of the time. But I think Rodriguez has a much broader skill set. I agree. I agree with that.
He's hard to pin down.
Yeah.
But I think it's good.
Yeah, I do. I really like I don't think this movie gets better, honestly, in some ways, than the opening section introducing all the characters, like the teenagers. Every freeze frame and every moment showing who I'm like, this is great. This is really fun. And I don't think it ever quite sustains the promise of those first 10 minutes. Where I'm like, everyone it introduces, I'm fucking into.
I hated that bit.
Oh, I think it's really good.
100% hated it.
I thought it was so good.
It's so naff, and you're like, these names are dumb, and I don't care. Just let me
the
actually
blood
see the
red
characters
font. Man. I'm like,
Casey.
I know exactly. Like, Stokely. What? I'm like, did you say Stokely? Moving on.
Stokely the Fire.
That's her name. Like, what?
It's insane. It just feels a bit too like edgy. I don't know. Like,
I know,
calling out the genre whilst making fun.
But
of the
then
genre.
you get to the
it's
scene
a lamp
in the
on a hat on a lamp.
You're right, absolutely. That's a fire hazard. But it's going to get to like the library, and it has the scene where Claire Duvall's like, "There's a movie called Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and it's based on the Puppet Masters." Which I love when she says, "Well, Invasion of the Body Snatchers was based on another book, so you look like a fucking idiot right now." I just love that. I think she's so funny.
She is good at it. That's
but it never says The Thing, and I'm like, this movie is The Thing. Like, let's be real. Of all the movies that it's kind of drawing from, it has so much in common with The Thing, and it is really using scenes directly from it.
Have you guys seen? Sorry to jump around. Have you seen Life with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, I've heard that movie's insane, or that he was insane while making it, or both.
Or it's insanely crazy. But it is also The Thing. It's a thing in space.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds is there.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So you know it's
sorry. No, I have seen it, but I don't remember much about it.
What?
Yeah.
I remember I walked out of the cinema going, ugh. That's what I felt. That's what I felt afterwards. I was horrified, and I didn't want to have seen it because it was.
Is there a horrible scene where someone has their hands in those like science gloves and
and this little
I remember
thing? Because that's the similar sort of worm thing. Starts off little, and you're like, it's just this little creature. How can it hurt you? And then it's like, crunches his hand, rips his hand off.
Is Rebecca Ferguson in that movie?
Rebecca Ferguson's in it.
People have speculated that when she's talking about the actor who was fucking awful to her on set, and she's like, I refuse to act with this man again. Everyone's like, it seems like it's Jake Gyllenhaal, because every other actor she's worked with has come out and been like, I love Rebecca, she's my best friend, and he's the only one.
Also, Taylor Swift wrote that song.
Plot twist, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I couldn't imagine Ryan Reynolds secretly being a dickhead. That wouldn't track. I can't imagine.
Everyone kind of knows that Ryan Reynolds is a dickhead now. And so is his wife, and so is that other guy. And that's fine. Deadpool's still a great movie.
I think I prefer Blake Lively over all of them, honestly.
No, you don't. No, you cannot.
I don't know,
You cannot.
man.
Have you watched Gossip Girl recently?
No, but I watched System of the Travelling Pants, and she's the worst part of it.
We digress.
No. I want to hear this. What do you think of Blake Lively in Gossip Girl?
What do I think of her?
Yeah.
I've seen 17
Marcus?
seconds of Gossip Girl ever. Marcus?
Yeah, exactly. Thoughts?
My thoughts on Blake Lively.
He's going to move us along. Watch this.
No, I'm not. If you genuinely want to know, I used to like Blake Lively during the Gossip Girl era. Outside of that, absolutely not. And I think that she's the worst thing that ever happened to Ryan Reynolds, who I also used to love.
Oh,
Yeah.
bad for each other.
And I think I think they are. I
Bad
think
for
they're
each
just
other.
it's just one toxic person meeting another unlocked toxic person, and
they got
bringing a
progressively-
third party in, and it's just this bubble of toxicity. Moving on.
And that's actually
Um,
technically the plot of The Faculty. One person comes to another and changes them forever, and they're never the same.
Wow.
Hey, got us back there.
That was great. Well
I-
done.
we should review that film. Oh, that's right.
I really like, and I actually had her name earlier, and I'm so sorry I've lost it. But it's the actress who plays the Principal Drake, who's also in Frasier, who's also obviously originally on Broadway.
Babe Newirth.
Yes,
Newirth.
It's
yes.
Audi Betty White. Yeah.
What?
Oh no, isn't that Piper Laurie?
You're
Is that
thinking
not-
of the older teacher. You're thinking of the principal with dark hair.
I'm thinking of the
Oh,
Princess
I
with dark
am.
hair.
Who's in Jumanji and How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yes,
She's the
but
boss
I
in How to
believe
Lose
she's
a Guy.
also originally Catherine Zeta-Jones's role in Chicago on Broadway. I'm pretty sure that's like her calling card from back in the day. I think she was like nominated for a Tony for it, or maybe won a Tony for it. Like,
What was her name? Sorry, I'm so sorry, I've missed this.
She got a crazy name.
It's Bear. It's Beatrice. So
Oh, Bebe Neuwirth.
Newirth, yeah.
Yeah, she's Fraser's ex-wife in Frasier. Like,
I think
she's
you say Bear. You
That's
say Bear.
right. Yeah.
yeah, she's awesome. I really
Bev.
love her energy in it.
Let's go back. It wasn't Chicago. It was Sweet Charity. Tony
Oh,
Wolfe
I'm
was
sorry.
Sweet Charity,
Really sweet charity. My bad. I thought
which
it
is
was
pretty similar to Velma. In
I
terms of,
honor-
like it's a jazzy hooker.
Is it? That's probably what
Yeah.
I'm thinking of.
I think I might be being a bit reductive, but like
Jazzy
yes.
hooker, you think is reductive? I can't see how.
Well, you've seen Hamilton. Jazzy hookers everywhere.
Hey, can I
Book of
interject here?
Mormon,
Can I just
couple
say
of
something?
jazzy
An observation.
hookers.
Observation. Very, 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 very funny.
Yeah.
On the poster to this film, as per IMDb, you've got all of your core characters, but guess who also makes an appearance in the main group as though they're a lead character?
I know who it is.
Who?
Who?
Usher.
Yeah.
Well,
why?
yeah, it's Usher. Because it's
It's
Usher
Usher.
in the late 90s. it's truly just kind of like, hey, Usher's in this.
That is-
And it's like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
is he really in it? It's like, not really. No, we sort of lied to you. How bad?
It's like, can Usher act? Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll never
He
know.
doesn't get a
Robert-
chance in the movie.
Yeah.
Robert Patrick doesn't make this. Like, he's Robert Patrick at this point.
Robert
Like, I just don't
Patrick is
understand.
so funny in this movie. It's hilarious
is
to
very
me
funny.
that he fucking is like, one water cooler's not enough. He tips the whole fucking bench over with everything on it. And then the next day after he's been intercepted by an alien, everyone's like, Coach is much more chill now. Everyone notice how cool Coach is being? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of prefer this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He's awesome. in
He
this.
has such a diabolical grin as well. Like,
God.
there's
He's-
just something so unsettling about that man when he smiles.
He's got an incredible face to play a villain.
Yes.
Because he's like handsome, right? Like he's well structured, he's well put together, but he looks terrifying.
Yeah.
Can I say, why don't they say, I've always wanted to do that more often? It's when Robert Patrick stabs the principal through the hand at the first scene, and then the older teacher kills the principal, and they both say, I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah.
And then it never happens again.
I guess
Then
they
they never say
both.
that
The
again.
joke is that they both hated the principal, and so like that
Oh,
was
that's
something
it.
they wanted to do to. And by the way, can we identify this? Is the last time I'll ask this. I'm so sorry, Frank, but I know you got the IMDb as that older lady with the orange hair. Is that not Piper Laurie, or am I making that
It is
up?
Piper Laurie, yeah.
Piper
yeah.
Laurie, fucking love Piper Laurie. She's in. She's Carrie's mum from Carrie. Shows up all over the place and shit. She's just
Sex
like
and the City.
I don't believe. Yeah, Carrie Bradshaw's mum. Carrie started at a high school where she got pig blood poured over her, and she's like, "I'm going to make it big in the city," and then like it's a whole thing. And Mr. Big shows up. I don't know. That's my limit of Sex and the City references.
See, Sex and the City is a great show, and Sarah Jessica Parker is awful and useless, and that she's the worst part of the show. But like comparatively to Gossip Girl, bad show.
Really interesting that you like keeping the Gossip Girl thread alive in this episode about the faculty.
It's interesting because it's like that's the faculty of our generation.
It's
Teen
a
drama, teen generation. I'm kidding, obviously.
That's an
move on.
interesting idea as a comparison of what were teen movies and what was appealing in the 90s. And this being appealing and having this vibe to it. Because I want to say, and this is like not a Butler's Pantry thing, but it's just a similar film of this era. Do you guys remember The Craft?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the 1996 film with Robin Tunney.
the girl from
Neve
the
Campbell.
Waterboy.
Yes, possibly. Also, Ben Stiller's wife is in it, and she plays a really nasty person in it. But like the main girl in it is Robin Tunney. And it's just like
Who's Robin Tunney for anyone else who's listening?
Robin Tunney really is only in like television. From that, she's in like an episode of House, and she's in like random smatterings of movies here or there. But like she never really took off. But she was a bit of a '90s girl who almost kind of made
She's
it. But
Deborah in Empire Records.
Sure,
So,
she's got a very
Fareed-
Jennifer Connelly vibe. Go on. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. And Fariza Balk is who I'm thinking of.
Fairuza Balk,
Who's
of
also-
course. Fairuza Balk's in it as well. Really, really interesting movie that deals with like, what if high school girls were witches, and what if they had a coven, and how would that play out? And like, it deals with all these aspects of Mean Girls, of guys that Skeet Ulrich is in it as a complete fuck. If you can imagine a real skeeve, don't know how he managed that.
Why
And
did they name him Skeet? Like, what?
Because they knew he was going to be a piece of shit. They were like, "There's no hope for this kid."
Anyone with the last name Ulrich as well. Lars Ulrich, Skeet Ulrich.
We're naming him
Terrible
after a skeeter. That's what we think of him, right?
Meat.
And he's in it, but like that's a movie that's got a really interesting vibe that I think is similar to this film a couple years earlier, that is like using high school trappings of the 90s, certain stylistic features, certain attitudes around cliques, and you know, all that sort of cultural accoutrement, and then using it in this supernatural setting. And I think that that's a more successful movie because it's more about the characters, and I think it enriches their relationships more. The thing that's lacking in this film to me is I don't really get most of the characters at all, or their relationships. And I'm waiting for that moment of like, oh, it's so cool that they're kind of all friends and they have to team up. And that never really happens, I suppose. And someone could say that that's the movie's intention, that they're always a little bit fractious and they're not quite on each other's side. But I wish they were. That would be more fun to me, you know?
It would, because it is never really like a team up moment. It's kind of even when they have done the tests and they're all like, okay, we have to kill the aliens, and what are we going to do? We go back to the school.
Yeah,
they're not really working together. It's kind of like, well,
there's one immortal moment where Stan and Casey stand and they're both tripping, and Stan's like, she could be a real bitch, and Casey's like, yeah, man, and they high five when he says that. Like, that's funny.
That's funny. That's the worst. That the laughing from Elijah Wood's the worst thing he's ever done.
Oh my god!
That giggling is
the
like
ADR, like just zooming up on him, and clearly on the set on the day, he was just kind of going like, and Robert later was like, I'm gonna need you to actually take some cocaine and try that again, because
come into the booth with me.
Yes, we need something more, but it's way too much. I agree.
What was I about to say? Guess
Apologies.
it doesn't matter. The ADR through the whole film is terrible.
There's a lot of ADR.
It's bad.
Yes.
It's like not.
I think you're right, Frank. They do constantly do the thing where they split up and they never really work as a unified group. I think more to the point that they never were unified in the first place. They were sort of brought together through circumstance.
Of course.
I don't think by choice these people want to be hanging out. Again, I don't like that we end with, the likes of Jordana Brewster. Her name keeps escaping me.
Delilah.
And Elijah there. It doesn't mean just to wrap the film up doesn't mean that everyone has to partner up. Do you know what I mean?
You're talking about when they start making out at the end, and you're like, why are they together?
Yeah.
I would.
It's the one thing that you kind of... I mean, Josh Hartnett and Famke Jensen hooking up when she's watching him play football, and you're like...
It's just
like,
so...
gross, but
the movie's actually... like, well, what, do you want him to be single? And it's like, I think out of those two options, I might prefer
but did she,
it. But
did she also have to put on the shawl again and the glasses and just act all like... super like she's almost like an extra in Grease. Do you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't look right
on the bleachers. Yeah, that's so accurate.
She is overdoing it. I don't know. I found her charming in this, despite the fact that I thought it was too much.
My point being is at least the movie did the groundwork for their relationship. Air quotes, their relationship.
Yes.
Whereas Jordana Brewster and Elijah Wood, you're like, I don't want them to be together. I don't care for that. Stan and Stokely. I mean, alliteration.
Freckly, I don't know. I'm into the
That's
Stan and
good.
Stokely thing. The Stan and Stokely relationship makes more sense to me than any of the other pairings. So, to me, it works when he goes out. They do that. She does that quick kiss and says, "I would have regretted it if I didn't do that."
I like that moment. I don't think it's earned at all, but I love Claire Duvall, and when she says that, I was like, It's a good line. I like it.
What did she say? I can't die.
I didn't want to have never done that. I've
never done that.
Yeah,
It's like
which
a
I just think
kind
a great way of saying it. She's just got a real spark to her. That
I think it's a
find-
good line, but a bad kiss. I don't care for their chemistry.
Well, she's a gay woman. like, we have to be clear to all.
It's called acting.
The
Thomas.
platonic lesbian of our time. There is just no
The
way
only
around
person that did a convincing kiss in this film, who was the master of the Riz, was Mr. Josh Hartnett himself.
We need
He
to
does that
give him
beautiful
his
kiss
fucking
with
dues.
Laura Harris. Sorry.
Wow, just give him his dues. This
Yeah.
is
What did he want? Did he want orange? Was he after mango? What was he looking for?
orange
Freshly squeezed?
juice? Yes.
Do-
yes. No, he's playing.
I don't know if
tennis
you're
and
being
they had juice.
facetious or not, but did you
I loved
actually
it.
like Josh Hartnett in this movie?
I think Josh
Loved
Hartnett's.
him.
I think Josh Hartnett's really good in this. This is the era when he's kind of in his element, and I sort of want to get into that at some point as well. Of how he is so central to probably this film at the time and part of its legacy. You know, it's-
I like Josh Hartnett when he's understated. I like him when he's not playing to camera and he's not playing a character per se.
I think Josh Hartnett got screwed over by Michael Bay and Pearl Harbor. When he's
think
doing the
that's true as well.
smiles and he's like, "Oh, I'm handsome."
Yeah.
And, it's like,
But then
we know
I
you're
don't
handsome,
like
but
him in.
He can play a
what's the
Skeet
new one he's
Ulrich,
done?
skeezy kind of guy, and you're like, he does that well, and he's good in Oppenheimer. He's good back in the day.
or
It's
a guy
just
who's
Pearl Harbor.
charming but has that kind of sinister edge to
He's
it.
he's edged. He's flawed. He's not quite. He's rough around the edges. He's a diamond in the rough.
You've said edge a lot, and I just can't help but think Josh Hartnett's not the way to go if you're edging, man. That's just going to send you over the top.
He'll take you to
Even his 1 or 2 minutes in Sin City are so good.
He is fucking perfect in that movie. I mean, everyone is, but it is crazy how you come away from that film bookended by Josh Hartnett, and you're just like, is he the greatest actor who's ever lived? Like,
Yeah.
he is
Also,
fucking so good in Sin City.
That's Rodriguez with Josh Hartnett and Elijah Wood again.
It is.
And
We're-
Selma Hayek's in...
And Selma Hayek.
Selma
Dusk
Hayek's
Till
in
Dawn.
Dust Till Dawn, and also in, I believe she's in Desperado, isn't she? Or maybe
Yes,
Once
she
Upon
is.
Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I'm not sure if she's in Desperado.
Who's in Machete? That's just...
Machete is
It's just Danny Trejo and whoever
Trejo.
was
yeah, just
brave
Danny
enough.
Trejo being
I'm
like...
pretty sure it's Lindsay Lohan, and he has a threesome with her and her mum in it. I think that's a
I think
scene
so.
in that movie.
Yeah, that
that's
sounds
legit.
that sounds right from the director of Spy Kids.
Yeah, it's weird that they
Which
they
is crazy
shouldn't
that
have.
it actually is.
Yes,
Machete. Let's look it up. Let's look it up.
Machete
I don't
is a
know
movie
this.
I haven't
Tom,
seen.
do you want to do... it's Jessica Alba, Robert De Niro, Michelle Rodriguez,
Oh, cool.
Steven Seagal.
My new favorite movie. I'm watching it every night this week. What the
hell
fuck
is
did you just
happening?
tell me? Robert De Niro's
Robert De
in
Niro
Machete.
is in
I
this.
had no idea. I rewatched. I swear to God, this will be 12 seconds. I rewatched Robert Downey Jr. winning his Oscar the other day. I don't know why. Just thought I wanted to rewatch it. And they cut to Robert De Niro in the audience, and they were talking about his performance in Killers of the Flower Moon. And he sits there basically without moving, just nodding slightly.
12.
And I burst into tears. Anyway, go on.
13.
That's
He
it.
bursts into
That's it.
tears because he's nodding slowly.
Because it's just Robert De Niro sitting in a chair being like, "Oh no, I'm Robert De Niro," and I'm like, "Yeah, you are, man." Like, it's so good that you're just that fucking guy, Bobby D. Like, anyway,
He's not Bobby Darin. Somewhere. You can't call him Bobby D.
beyond the sea. Sorry, that's Al
not...
Pacino.
yeah.
Before we get off the point, I really just wanted to say as well, Josh Hartnett, I really did not like his performance in the new M. Night Shyamalan
See,
Trap.
Trap. See, I love that performance. I
I've
think
not
it's really
seen
good.
Trap.
Interesting.
You and I are on other ends of that movie, but I think he's doing a lot in that movie. I agree, Marcus. If you like him
think he's doing
understated, not understated in that film, but I
he's not.
I kind of like it. I think it's a cool performance. I'm really
Okay.
yeah. Anyway.
Shyamalan's not famous for getting... Oh, actually, no, is he? Does he get good performances? Is
does.
The Village good? Because he gets
Yeah, he got Adrian Brody in The Village. Do you remember that
to do
performance?
that, things that we can't
Yeah.
say on this.
What was that, sorry?
We can't say.
Say
I'm not
what?
going to say it.
What are you talking about?
Adrian Brody is the worst Oscar winner of all time, and I'm mad that he ever is in films.
It's weird that he won for The Village. I agree. That shouldn't
Yeah.
have happened. He gets a really subtle, truly, like, non-facetiously, a very subtle performance out of Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense. A very moving performance. And Haley Joel's obviously great in that.
Which is
so
the last good thing that M. Night ever did.
I think that is an insane
I think Signs is. I
claim.
think Signs is like. This was like a short and sweet. We're just naming films. Should we go to? I think Signs is great. Let's go to Butler's Pantry.
Sure, that sounds great.
Yes.
I'm just going to pretend to play it now.
Okay.
That's in the middle.
That's great.
Go on.
I think it is just interesting to consider the degree to which, this movie is a little bit secretly influential in ways that probably don't always appear that obvious.
Question, could you define it as a classic, do you think?
I think that I would say it's more of like a... It's not a cult, but it is like definitely a movie that... Sorry, I forgot which C word we weren't allowed to say.
We are so demonetized at this point.
We can beep it. We can beep it.
Who's going to beep it? Who's going to do the work?
I think oftentimes the problem where people say cult classic is... At what point, what is the definition of a cult classic, right? It is a film that has stood the test of time with a very, enduring and very dedicated and devoted audience, but it's certainly not the mainstream. And yet, people will go, Pulp Fiction, that's a cult classic. Is it a cult classic? It's Pulp Fiction. That's one of the biggest movies of the 90s, right? Yeah.
Well, to your point, sorry to jump in, is it big? Was it big financially? Was it a big release when it happened?
It made money, as we saw. It was what? You said $15, $16 million. I think it made 65 or something. It made...
The Faculty, yeah.
The Faculty, absolutely.
So
are you
20
saying...
to 30 million profit. Yeah, did Pulp Fiction make money?
Pulp Fiction made money. Pulp Fiction won an Oscar,
So then it can't be a cult classic.
I don't think that's what necessarily defines it. It doesn't have to be it doesn't make money and then it endures, or it makes a lot of money and so, well, there you go. It has to be considered popular, because movies that make a lot of money get forgotten, right? All I'm saying, I suppose, in point to this is that, as I'm watching it, I was like, oh yeah, there's that video game that Marcus and I played as kids, Obscure, which was a pretty good PS2 sort of era video game. A lot of people from that generation, probably the late 90s, early 2000s, would have grown up with. And it had a pop punk soundtrack, and it had sort of a rebellious, the school's gone wild and we have to fucking get our way out of here. And we thought
Frank,
we were
it opens with Sum 41.
It does open with Sum 41.
Which
still
song?
Still waiting. It's
am I still waiting?
It's an incredible opening. It's actually cinematic. Mwah, beautiful. But yeah, it's playing on those same themes of alienation and sort of discontent, as Stan would say, that so many of these characters are experiencing, that the movie maybe hits a little hard with, I thought I was the real alien. These guys, it does that a few times. These kids feel as though they're a little, like we said, The Breakfast Club, they're a little bit oddball mixed with the popular, mixed with the sort of out of place kid. Josh Hartnett is a great example of a guy who is, if not a stoner, certainly a narcotic adjacent guy who's got a weird seedy side, also incredibly wealthy, obviously, and very intelligent. He's sort of the stoner character from The Cabin in the Woods, who comes back 14 years later. You guys know who I mean? The guy who...
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth, the stoner character. No.
I've not seen it.
Marcus, you know who I mean in The Cabin in the Woods?
You didn't look this up for your own research?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, my brain keeps doing Matthew Lillard. I know.
I had his name in my head and I lost it. I'm so sorry.
I know who you're talking about.
The stoner in Cabin in the Woods. Apologies. I can find it if you'd like. But he is a character who it's Fran Kranz. Sorry. Very interesting.
I'm glad we did that. I'm glad we paused
that
for
didn't
that.
Help.
Fran Kranz. Yeah, that's what I was like. He's a guy. It doesn't matter. No one knows who the fuck he is, but he's the guy in Cabin in the Woods, and his character is very much the well, he's a stoner, he doesn't know what's going on, right? And he won't get... And yet, suddenly, he's the most alert, and he's the most aware of what's going on around him. Hartnett has that sort of quality that I think we see play out in anti-hero, bad boy, edgy characters as the years go on after this. And then, as we said before, Sinners, right? Ryan Coogler says, I think this movie's great. It's using a lot of that energy of body snatcher, communist fear, sort of, and maybe AIDS crisis panic that happened from the 50s all the way up to the 80s and 90s the 50s and 80s in America, and it's using it in a high school instead. And it's taking it and approaching it from that energy of what if you don't, that feeling you get that all the teachers are fucking out to get you, and that everyone around you is just part of a mob and a teeming growth of an organism that you'll never be part of, and you always feel like an outcast, is true, because that's actually what's happening. And in Sinners, he appropriates that instead, of course, in the way of looking at the historical mistreatment of disenfranchisement and appropriation of black music, but he still uses a lot of those interesting conventions. Of course, the classic scene where Stan comes to the door here in this movie, and he's like, let me in, and they have to test him, and they do that exact same thing in with Cornbread in Sinners. You know, that scene is really kind of grafted. I think it's better in Sinners, but this movie does have an interesting footprint. It's really strange that after all that, I have to say, it's a bit of a bummer it's not better in my opinion. I think that it has all the elements and all the ingredients to deliver something much more memorable and much more affecting. And mostly by the end of it, I'm like, that was a fun time. You know, I probably won't really be thinking about that in a couple of days, but it's...
There is one way of looking at this as well, is to say
yeah.
that, you know, the faculty walked so Coogler could run. Like, I kind of like that. I love the fact that he loved this movie.
He's got a lot of things that he draws inspiration from that you wouldn't expect, but that as just an American film representing some ideals that I think he found interesting. Although it is worth considering that he would have looked at it and been like, no black kids in the Outcasts, huh? Like maybe Usher's too much
He's
of
on
an
the poster.
Well, that's true. Absolutely. But I think that would have been, it's interesting to think it's like, well, it's the goth lesbian girl and it's the new Southern girl with the perfect accent that you can't like hear through.
It's funny to me. It's such a fine line, and I hate even that I'm going to say this, but at times I kind of look at that as well and go, I'm almost glad they didn't throw a token black guy in there or a black girl just to make the quota for that core group either.
Sure, but everyone's a token.
To
like the nerd is a token, and the lesbian goth is a token, and the
yeah.
football is a token. So it's kind of like it wouldn't be any less so. I don't think it's to the movie's discredit. I'm not like, well, without a black person in the cast, that's a bad movie or anything. But like, I just think it's interesting that a filmmaker like Coogler would have seen that and been like, there's potential here for a way of looking at this and going, well, what's the subversion of this, or what's another appropriation?
There's another way to tell this similar story.
Exactly.
So, Tom, your point is that it is a cult classic. That's where you started.
No, I wasn't trying to be a cunt about it. I was just trying to like explain
That's
like,
three. That's three.
Is that the last one?
think
That'll
Yeah,
be the last
three,
one.
yeah.
like baseball. 4 striking times.
Frank,
That's what
I
they say
am
in
curious, had I not opened like a moron by saying the C word, calling this a classic, what would you have talked about otherwise? Because I feel like you've really grasped onto that word.
I would have brought it up myself, and I would have said the same thing.
Okay, sure.
I would have found a way to bring it
I
in.
think you have an absolute point, though, that there's the reason people put cult in front of it. They want to go kind of like, of course it would be ridiculous to say, you know what everyone's favourite 90s film is? Or if you were going to take a list of people's favourite, even if you went people's favourite 90s teen movies, I don't think everyone is saying The Faculty. I think you've got Clueless. I think you've got 10 Things I Hate About You.
I think you've even got, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yes.
Scream.
Scream's
like
bigger,
the
definitely.
argument.
But
bigger, yeah. But there's
is
like you said, there's a lot of culture, and this is the thing with cult classic. It's about the cultural effect, right? It's about how long it lasts and how long you can call back to it and be like, that made a difference, or that made an impact on me, and there's sort of resonance there. I don't think this film has it, even though maybe it should.
It might just be within those horror circles. Do you know what I mean? It might just be one of the, like, within the horror viewership, people look at The Faculty as just one of those films. It's the same sort of reference point that, you know, I know I've gone about this film before, and I don't think either of you've seen it. Dog Soldiers.
No, I haven't.
Dog Soldiers, again, a very classic, one of the greatest werewolf films ever made, never talked about, but within horror circles, an absolute cult classic, and would be considered a classic. Do you know what I mean? Although
who's
to
saying
mainstream cinema,
if I go to a forum for werewolf films, is that
no, I think if you went to a horror fest,
yeah,
you would be surprised how many people probably would know these films quite well.
I
point
don't
is
disagree
that-
because I saw this. I saw The Faculty growing up. I saw so it must have been in somewhere, because I'm not going to go out and seek a horror movie. That's not how I'm wired. So like
this one has
not even Midsummer. I mean, it's close to Hillsong, I guess.
Midsummer's great. You should watch Midsummer. Maybe we should do Midsummer.
Great.
I think I'm going to pick the 3-hour cut of Midsummer for our next film. Look, I think that Marcus is tapping into something about the horror aspect, because horror fans are fucking ravenous and like really hard to like. That is a very specific thing. In the same way when you talk about anime fans and when you talk about you know, people that are fans of. I suppose like Souls-like games or something, like where you're just getting at something where they play everything, like they watch everything, and so the Faculty would be on the radar, I imagine, and Dog Soldiers. I still always come down on this thing of like, I don't think you're likely to see it. Marcus, you even said the movie no one talks about. Like, people don't really talk about Dog Soldiers because it hasn't broken through in that same way that even say like an American Werewolf in London has.
But that's because no, exactly right. Because one was mainstream Hollywood. One did break those circles.
Yeah.
The other is considered anyone at face value a B grade horror film.
Yes.
But but the Faculty would have been A grade. Like Rodrigo's coming off some hot films, a huge cast. One of the biggest
movies. I mean, From Dusk Till Dawn is...
But it's $15 million budget, so it's not going to get the cut through in terms of the marketing push, in terms of the cinema releases, in terms of all that sort of stuff that actually spreads a film far and wide in the 90s before the real development of the internet and like streaming and all that sort of stuff. So how do you get it to people? So if it's only got a $15 million budget, it physically cannot have the same effect. And like, I agree that horror people will know this film and they will agonize every detail and be like, hey, you didn't talk about that, you didn't talk about this bit. But most regular cinema people who watch films casually would not have a clue what we're talking about.
That's true, but you're talking about a Miramax movie as well, and you're talking about the era of Miramax's big push where, independent cinema in America was at its absolute pinnacle from the late 80s into the late 90s, rather, and maybe a little bit in the 2000s, with Soderbergh and Kevin Smith and Tarantino and Jim Jarmusch and whatever. So, like, the idea that a movie with a low budget couldn't break through the mainstream, such as, for instance, American Pie, a movie that was, like, infinitesimally small budget and was just a fucking blockbuster. Now, obviously, is it easier to sell a teen movie that's about a guy fucking a pie versus people who become bugs? Yes, I would argue, right? But there is still a degree to which something breaks through because people find something to grab onto. I think this movie was a pretty moderate success. I think that it has its legacy because we go, holy shit, Frodo's in this. Holy shit, Josh Hartnett's in this. Like, it's kind of weird.
Is it like legacy because of the luck of the casting, for lack of a better word?
And even I would say Usher shows up and you're just like, the fuck? What are you doing here, man? Like, that's kind of crazy that Usher's in this movie. It has like a little cheeky, I'll go along with this. And Robert Patrick, obviously, for Terminator. But
although in saying that, like, obviously Elijah Wood wasn't Frodo at this point.
That's what I mean. Early. We watch it now and go, oh, this is a movie that had those guys in it
see what you're
who
saying.
weren't those guys yet. Like, that's all right. But
Josh Hartnett,
Usher hadn't quite become at all. Like, he was on his way up, but still wasn't quite there, And Josh Hartnett hadn't really broken out in the way I think Virgin Suicides is the year after this, which is a huge movie for him, where he's taking a similar, very laid back, intelligent but kind of skeevy character to a different extreme in that, and I think all those energies are right for the film. Again, I just kind of keep saying all this stuff about it and thinking like, so did I love this movie? And I'm like, no, I thought it was good. Like, I really kind of wished I loved it, or I think one thing that
does let it down, Thomas, to your point, I think earlier, was like, it is such an ensemble film with an amazing cast, and they're all, I think, giving pretty great performances. Like, I don't really go, ooh, that's not good, that's not great, except for Stan and Famke Jensen. But the point is, like, they don't come together. So, like, there's Elijah Wood as the end girl, but it's like, what did they do to beat this thing together? And you're not left with a feeling of triumph. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
We did it. It's like, oh, he kind of did it, and we did this bit over here.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, she's Lord of the Rings, for example, to reference. You know that Aragorn's done his bit. You know that Samwise has done his bit, and it's all for one singular goal. And if one person hadn't been there, it wouldn't have worked.
I think.
Whereas this, you feel like Elijah Wood's there, and
that's it, because Elijah Wood is the end girl in Lord of the Rings as well, isn't he? The end girl.
That's true. He's always the end girl.
His whole career. He's good at it.
That's right.
I think
final girl. Just to be clear, it is the final girl.
It is the final girl, and then he plays the guy in Spy Kids 3D. If you guys don't remember.
Wow.
You remember he's the
creepy guy in Sin City.
He's he's Jesus in Spy Kids 3D. I'm not kidding. Look it up. He's like the messiah of that game that they're all in. But anyway.
Oh, no.
We
should quickly do...
really quick. Just because you were saying all that. Mary Beth, the blonde girl who turns out to be the villain
Laura
with
Harris?
absolutely no nipples, which I didn't find disturbing at all.
I think they were just shadowed well.
No, I don't think they were. I think they were completely smoothed over either in post or they've put tape on them, because I paused and zoomed and checked, and there was not a bump there.
Of course you did.
Anyway,
I think, so we're crystal clear. The girl has nipples.
Oh, I'm sure she has.
They've just done something with the nipples in this film.
You know what?
You mean in the film?
I don't know if she has nipples.
I don't know if this is...
But
I don't know if this is... what's the point?
Or what I wanted to say was her giving...
the nipple is the point.
The nipple's the point. The areola kind of generally.
Very good.
her giving her mission statement at the end, or the mission statement of the film, where she's just like, you were all outcasts. You all felt like this and this. And I agree with you, Frank, that it's like, it feels like it's building towards them overcoming that so they can win. And no, it doesn't really matter in the end. It's just kind of like, yeah, Elijah Wood's the last one because he's the wimpiest, and isn't it crazy that he's the one who defeats? But like Claire Duvall and Stan and all that, like Stan getting turned by the football team is ironic, I guess, but it doesn't really actually mean anything in any grand way. So I also think it's the sort of movie that is calling its shot early, that kind of lets you know what you're going to watch and whether you're on board with it or not. When at one point, Jon Stewart says to Salma Hayek, why don't I just put a fucking pencil through my eye, or a pen through my eye? And I was like, well, I know how he's going to die. Like the movie just fully telegraphing it. And then later on, Robert Patrick's talking to Elijah Wood, and Elijah Wood's like, I don't like running unless I'm being chased. And I'm like, wonder what happens at the end of this movie, right? Like it is doing those things that are a little cute, but at the same time, I was like, yeah,
Hold
okay.
on, actually, sorry, and remember the Chekhov's gun? Where Josh Hartnett's like, yeah, it's a gun.
It's a gun.
And you're like, okay, well, get it out already. Like, just shoot somebody.
The sort of thing that just made me chuckle once he went like, it's a gun. And like, yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it is a lot of lampshading, that's for sure.
This is true.
Should we quickly do MVP?
Sure.
Josh, I haven't actually thought about this. You said Josh Hartnett?
Straight away.
I think mine's Elijah Wood. I really find him so watchable in this. I think he's not given the easiest role because he has to have that scene that's so annoying where he's like, but no, that's not what I saw. Actually, there was a body in there, and it's so hard.
I'm not crazy.
Yes.
I'm not crazy, Professor.
Absolutely. And it's so difficult to play that without coming across as like, man, I know you're telling the truth and you're pissing me off. Like, just calm down. And he actually, I was with him the whole time. I love that Shooter is his dad, that he takes his porno just so he can go jack with it. It's just...
His mum's like...
His porno. Get his porno. It's like, Mum, what the fuck?
So
I thought we were bros.
So embarrassed.
But yeah, I really loved his scenes of always being a little tortured, but always like giving it back to people. Like he's always just kind of ready with a rejoinder if he needs it. And him getting his dick and taint smacked up against the flagpole like 12 times at the start of the movie. I thought it was pretty intense, and he took it.
Poor guy.
It's very funny how it starts with him getting punched in the face, and you're like, oh, it's a bad start to the day. It's like, it gets worse.
Casey.
Yes.
All right, Marcus for MVP.
Josh Hartnett's a close second, I think, because I think there's that. It is the scene where he has it out in public with the teacher.
Oh yeah.
With Famke Janssen. I just don't like him in that scene. There's just something about that scene which is a bit like, like scoffing and, okay, well,
It's an odd scene. It's like I said, it's very mannered in a weird video gamey way that I was like, this is so strange. I kind of like it, but it's weird.
I would also say like most of the aliens, once they've switched into humans, don't change their personality 180 degrees. They change a little bit. I mean, Coach doesn't scream, but they're not like... She changes the way she dresses, the way she looks from... And I know some... Like, she just doesn't... It's too extreme. The change is too extreme. I don't believe it.
It's weird that she's the one who swings that far the other direction when it doesn't happen with... Piper Laurie, I suppose it happens with as well, because she's like buttoned down and then she comes to school the next day and her hair's out. And it's like, oh, wow, a brand new woman.
Sorry.
Is that the same thing? They're hitting on a student, trying to have sex with a student.
Josh Hartnett is a second. Elijah Wood is a first for me.
Yeah.
And
he's the end girl.
You have a look at him in that final moment as well. He's killed the beast, but he's copped those bugs to the face and he starts screaming.
Yeah.
And still, he's giving a strong performance with what could typically be a very hard scene to do for a young actor. I think he's great in this film. I think he carries it, to be fair. So, there you go.
Yeah, you might have a point, yeah.
Bless you,
Tom.
Sorry, I sneezed.
If we want to do a recast, we'll do it real quick.
Go on.
And by real quick, I mean...
We don't have to do it for this being an ensemble cast. It's a bit big. It's up to you.
I mean, is Timothée Chalamet going to be Elijah Wood? Timothée Chalamet 5 years ago?
I think Timothée Chalamet's Josh Hartnett. I don't know what... Like, I think that's his... you look at Lady Bird. That's basically what he's doing in Lady Bird. He's playing... Yes, it is. He's playing the guy that you kind of like... He's sort of dweeby and gangly, but I want to fuck him? And it's like,
Josh Hartnett is not dweeby or gangly. He's
yes, he is. Josh Hartnett...
Give it
Josh Hartnett
Give it to Michael Cera. Just give it to Michael Cera.
That would be hilarious. I think Josh
Never
Hartnett
does.
is actually kind of awkward in this movie in an intentional way. Don't you remember the shot where it pans up from him getting stuff out of his trunk and you're like, oh wow, this guy's dressed fresh. And then it gets to his hair and it's just smoothed down on his forehead, which I know was the style of the time, but he looks pretty bad. But I think it's in a way where you're like, yeah, okay.
He never looks bad. He looks fantastic.
I think
in
the
this
hair
movie.
is pretty shocking. Timmy, you're acting like Timmy's not a guy that people would just be like, yeah, that's the smart guy who doesn't have to try and I want to fuck him. Like, he would be perfect for that.
Now, maybe. Timmy, call me by your name, Timmy. Maybe not.
I don't know. I literally think he did it in Lady Bird. Anyway, I think John Slattery would be a great Jon Stewart as an alternative.
Hell yes.
Just get
Of
John
course.
Slattery in there, have him be kind of really weirded out by this thing, and then get stabbed in the fucking face by a pencil. I love that. I think that would be,
That's good.
That would be a good one.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't know if there are too many others that come immediately to mind.
And maybe that's the point being, like, this is a good cast.
I think it's
Don't
a
want
good
to change
cast.
it. Don't need to change it.
Oh, fucking Jordana Brewster. Maybe just get like they literally name drop it, but just get Nev Campbell in there. Maybe like that's fine. That works
Yeah.
immediately.
Talking about Final Girl.
Yeah, there you go. You got there. Finally,
That's final. And that's final.
and that's final. Any
is
for you,
it-
Marcus? Any replacements?
Not really. I think for Stan, maybe you'd have like a Will Poulter, maybe. But I don't
It's
know.
not a bad
I
shout.
think
But again, is he meant to be a jock? I find that
he
casting
is-
confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just purely his look. I like his performance. It's just the look of him is so jarring as what is meant to be like your star quarterback, a guy that's dating the likes of Jordana Brewster, even though she's very clearly doing it for social status only. She's very clearly not into him.
It's funny how she calls it out. She's like, quarterback dates the head cheerleader. It's like,
It's a little on the nose.
All right,
what the
all right,
movie
mate.
does a few times,
Yeah.
where it's just kind of like, we know this is a movie, guys. All right, let's not get carried away.
but we're going to flip it by the end.
Yeah.
We're so edgy.
No, I think all that's good. I guess I would maybe go Halle Berry as Famke Jensen's character. I think that would be a pretty cool replacement.
be
There.
great.
I think it would just
Love that.
I would really like it if Halle Berry played a teacher who hit on me in any circumstance.
Wow. Okay. Is anyone going to throw anything in? I'm moving on from Thomas. That's
I'd throw into Monster. Oof.
That's an upsetting movie,
wow.
but I know what scene you're talking about.
Yeah.
You talking
Monsters
about
Balls.
I was
Monsters
about to
Balls.
say I know you mean
Monsters
Monsters
Ball.
Ball.
you mean
but yes.
Charlize Theron in court in the jumpsuit?
No. Oh, I jumped into that too.
Charlize Theron is naked in that movie in a very
I don't-
unexpected, jarring
We
moment.
really shouldn't. We shouldn't have to bring it up.
No, I
please
suppose
don't.
No eyebrows. Super into it. Yeah. Anyone throwing in?
Yeah,
I'm not.
I'll go like a 6.6. I think I talked with you guys. You guys, Marcus, obviously have some passion for this film, and I just kept being like, oh yeah, this was good. So yeah, like 6.6. I think it was a fun time.
I think my opinion of the film is the same, but I think the maybe I'm coming around on the classic and the cult classic.
Was there
nature
another
of
C word you were coming around on?
it. No.
Okay.
Thanks for mentioning it.
Can't you think of it?
Marcus, are you throwing anything in?
No, I think I'm going to sit with 8.4.
That's a really strong finish from us. That's great.
I'm glad we're not in person at the moment because I am sick and I know I'm a bit contagious, so I wouldn't want to get you guys give you anything.
That's not bad. That's not bad from you, actually.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But I do hope you feel better soon.
Thank you. I thought that was a really fun time. Thanks for bringing that one
Maybe
in,
drink
Marcus.
a cooler of water. Yeah, good choice, Marcus, I guess.
Yeah, and thank you for taking control of this whole situation, Frank. You've done really well. Thank you.
Hey, where the fuck are we?
Thank you for listening to Throw on the Power. My name is Frank.
My name is Marcus.
My name's Tom.
And that was The Faculty, or as Tom said, where?
The fuck are we?
Great.
That was
Great
good.
stuff.
I like that. I think that's one of your better things you brought in.
Send us a DM, Throw on the Pallet Instagram, throwonthepallet@gmail.com. Tell us your favourite cult classic films and tell us you love us. We love you. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Tell us you love us, we love you.
What has he done?
I didn't know what to say.